Lucila Godoy Alcayaga, both on the 7th of April 1889, die on the 10th of January 1957. Known by her pseudonym Gabriela Mistral, was a Chilean poet-diplomat, educator and humanist. In 1945 she became the first Latin American author to receive a Nobel Prize in Literature. For her lyric poetry which, inspired by powerful emotions, has made her name a symbol of the idealistic aspirations of the entire Latin American world. Some central themes in her poems are nature, betrayal, love, a mother's love, sorrow and recovery, travel, and Latin American identity as formed from a mixture of Native American and European influences. Her portrait also appears on the 5,000 Chilean peso banknote. Characteristics of her work. Mistral's work is characterized by including gray tones in her literature. Sadness and bitterness are recurrent feelings on it. These are evoked in her writings as the reflection of a hard childhood, plagued by deprivation coupled with a lack of affection in her home. However, since her youth as a teacher in a rural school, Gabriela Mistral had a great affection for children that shows throughout her writing. Religion was also reflected in her literature as Catholicism had great influence in her life. Nevertheless, she always reflected a more neutral stance regarding the concept of religion. Thus we can find the religious combined with feelings of love and piety, making her into one of the worthiest representatives of Latin American literature of 20th century. Death, posthumous tributes and legacy. During the 1970s and 1980s, the image of Gabriela Mistral was appropriated by the military dictatorship of Pinochet, presenting her as a symbol of submission to the authority and social order. Views of her as a saint-like celibate and suffering heterosexual woman were first challenged by author Licha Fiol-Mata, who contends that she was rather a lesbian. The suspicions about her eventual lesbianism were reaffirmed with the discovery of her archive in 2007. After the death of her claimed last romantic partner, Doris Dana, in 2006. Dana had kept thousands of documents, including letters between Mistral and her various occasional female lovers. The publication of the letters she wrote to Dana herself in the volume Niña Errante, 2007, edited by Pedro Pablo Zegers, reaffirmed the idea that the two had a long-lasting romantic relationship that supported Mistral in her latest years. The letters were translated into English by Velma Garcia and published by University of New Mexico Press in 2018. Regardless of these hypotheses about the claimed romance between them, Doris Dana, who was 31 years younger than Mistral, denied explicitly in her last interview that her relationship with Mistral was romantic or erotic, and described it as the relationship between a stepmother and her stepdaughter. Dana denied being lesbian, and in her opinion it is unlikely that Gabriela Mistral was lesbian. Mistral had diabetes and heart problems. Eventually she died of pancreatic cancer in Hempstead Hospital in New York City on January 10, 1957, at 67 years of age, with Doris Dana by her side. Thanks for watching HerStory channel. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe our channel.